Merry Christmas, everybody. Good Lord, look at all that. I know who may not be having a very Merry Christmas right now might be the employees at KTM. I'm probably not breaking the news to anybody, but they've been having a rough time. Definitely into a bit of financial issues at the moment. Heard a lot of takes on it. There's already been a lot of people making videos about this, discussing it from different sort of business standpoints. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you want a good video explaining it, I will go look at Spite's video, Spite's Corner, the other Jake, if you will. That kind of gets you up to date with what's going on. But there's something that he touched on briefly in there that I want to expand upon, something I haven't heard a lot of people talk about. And what he mentioned in there is that it seems like there's a lot of people that are kind of like more or less happy that this is happening, or going, that's what they get for stupid decisions. And you know, he kind of made the point that, hey, you gotta remember, this affects a lot of people. That's something that I can relate to because I've worked in this industry. I've worked at different dealerships. Heck, I've worked at a KTM dealership. I don't know if you've ever had to have a job or a position where you don't know what's going to happen in the next 6 months, 6 weeks, 14 days, whatever, right? It's not a good feeling. When I worked at KTM, I never had that problem. We also sold Polaris. If something had happened to KTM, we would have probably been okay, but still wouldn't have been great. I looked it up though, and I was trying to find an answer, and you're basically saying, hey, how many people work for this company? Well, that's going to get you a million different answers. According to the Google AI, it said about 6,000. It thinks like globally. That's the thing I want you to think about that is you might not like some decisions some professionals have made. Out of that 6,000 people, how many of those people do you think are shot callers that actually have made bad decisions that put the company where it is? Probably not a lot. They're all going to be affected nevertheless. They're saying 6,000 people are suddenly in a weird position. I start to think about it. I'm like, are they taking into account local dealerships? Highly doubt it. And why some dealerships like the one I used to work at carried another brand and could have survived, it would have hurt us. What about brands that only carry the one? I know one right up the street from me. And I tell you too, this industry, someone who's worked in it for a number of years, is not like the best place to go work, man. Like most people doing these jobs aren't doing them because it's the best financial decision. Just about everybody could have probably had a job doing something else in a similar industry, but maybe more automotive or some other thing that would be more solid, more consistent, and have better payment. And those people, though, I think out of that 6,000, like I said, I think these are like the actual corporate people that work for the company or in the factories. And you know, maybe if the things go under, they'll have some sort of severance package or something. But again, I'm pretty sure on the local dealer level, where this is where it's going to really affect people that you know. Do you think they have anything like that? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt they have any kind of, you know, if they have to shut down. Because I can tell you, when I worked in dealerships, man, I didn't have much. I remember actually when Obamacare, or I should say, the Affordable Health Care Act came out, and we actually lost insurance, and most dealerships couldn't carry it after that. It's kind of funny how the Affordable Health Care Act was supposed to make it affordable, but like literally made a lot of us not have insurance. And then you go to sign up for the Affordable Health Care Act and they say you make too much money. And then you end up paying like what I was doing until my wife got a normal job again. I was doing a private insurance. It, for me and my family, costed me $6,000 a year in premium, and I still had to meet a $6,000 deductible before they would cover everything. Now I was 100% once I got there. That doesn't mean 100% that I didn't have to keep paying that premium. They're going to get me for that no matter what. Minimum $6,000. Any doctor visit basically is out of pocket. It's basically a disaster plan, but that's what a lot of us had to. That's the kind of insurance most people have to get when you're doing a private policy like that. I know it sounds like I'm just complaining. Why am I making a bunch of point of that? I want you to understand the situation a lot of people are in. So a lot of people that work at dealerships either have to spend that kind of money every year, or don't have insurance at all because they make too much for the Affordable Health Care Act coverages. If these people lose their job, again, like I said, there's a lot of things that just make more sense to do than be in the moto industry. I tell people all the time in my Discord, they'll say, Jake, I think about being a mechanic. They'll tell you, I talk them out of it. I try really hard to, at least. A lot of people are stubborn and they've already made up their mind. They know they're like, nah, I want to do this, man. I go, all right, you gotta understand the realisticness of this. I know it seems fun to work on something you want to work on, but you're paid by flag hour, almost never have benefits. You take a week off of work, you just don't get paid, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get sick, can't make it to work. Remember, you hurt your hand. Dude, I've hurt my hand working like a couple times where like, you can't stop. You just have to work injured and try to like keep up because you're like, well, how do I make money? I can't take time. They don't pay me. I'm not trying to make this too into a thing where it's like, oh, the American health industry is ridiculous. I mean, it is, but it's like, I'm not trying to get down to that. It's a very complicated system. I'm aware of that. Sorry, I'm filming y'all just like a night video. I didn't mean to do that. I really didn't. You know, this dusk works. It's been raining. It stopped for a minute. Now it's just dark. You know, it's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's really not, but You go see the people that work at your local dealership, you go see those guys, and nobody's getting rich, man. Getting by is kind of like how it works. If it does go up, like imagine the number of people, like the 6,000 supposed people, I'm sure that's over 20,000 people it's going to affect that suddenly are in the market for a new job with similar skills. Good luck. Hope you all can find jobs at Yamaha and Ducati and whatever else, but I mean, the likeliness is you're not. This thing has a reasonable high beam. Also, look at all the backlit lights on here. Also, is the 360 camera worth it anymore? I don't think so in this level of darkness. We're going to shut that down. And on top of all the employment that gets affected by this, a lot of that employment, like I said, it won't have any kind of severance package or something to fall back on. How many people own a KTM product right now, Husky or Gas? It's like, gotta feel a little uneasy about how that's all working out. Whatever supplies they had, they'd sell through them, and then, oh, sorry, that's just like an unsupported brand now. I don't really have a lot to add to it, just to say that, you know, I wouldn't be so excited about that brand going down. It's gonna hurt a lot of people that work in an industry that, you know, maybe that's not your favorite brand, but that's a lot of people nevertheless that are going to be affected. Those are still people though that are doing a job that they could probably be making better money at doing other things, but did that because they like the industry, they like motorcycles enough to make silly life career decisions. I know I've been one of them. You should want the best for them. Why I'm saying things like that too, let me say this. You go to the dealership and you're buying a bike, particularly a very cheap bike. You're buying a cheaper, more budgety bike, don't beat them up on the price. It's never wrong to ask for a better deal, of course. Oh, can you do me a little better on this? Is there any wiggle room? Nothing wrong with that. But don't just fight them on it, because dude, there's like no margin on those little bikes. Cheaper they get, the worse it is. Like something like this Papio, a Honda Grom, they ain't making no money off of these bikes. I'll tell you that. These kind of bikes is the bike they sell that it's a bit of fun, but they hope that you'll like the brand and you'll buy more later. If you want to know more about what's actually happening financially with them, like I said, Spite's got a good video or two on it. They owe a lot of money though. I'll tell you that much. They need some money. They need someone to invest. First gen KLR over here looking badass. Yeah, the first gen. You got a BMW sticker on it? Oh, KLR with the BMW. That's hilarious. Oh, that's fun. Good fun. That's how a first gen should look right there. The CF Moto brand, who they've been working with, could they bail them out? Could they I don't know much about their business and how much extra, you know, liquid cash or access to funds that they have, and or their interest in it, and I can only speculate. If anything was going to be a possibility, I'd say that could be it. But I don't know. I'm not a businessman. I don't know their in and out of their global company, what they want to achieve, and if that lines up with any goals they have. But they have been working with KTM. I think they build that 790 motor, and I think some of the other variants for them. I could see them saying, all right, you know, we'll bail you out of this. I would think they'd probably want a lot more control over the company if they did that. Did they let KTM continue as it is, being built and, you know, developed into whatever, and over there in Austria? Or do they want to take over some of that? Do they want more access to more of their other stuff? You know, more of their technology? What if they move all production to China? I know there's a lot of people who would think, oh, well, if they did that, the quality's going to go to hell. If you told me Chinese companies taking over, I'd go, oh, yeah, I would agree. I'd be a little worried about quality, but not with CF Moto. I think they could do the job just fine. And maybe they keep producing cool bikes that are developing at the same rate they would have been otherwise, you know, and their quality's not an issue. Maybe let's assume they could do that. What's that going to do, though, to the average buyer of the brand? How many people are going to go, well, I'm not interested in that anymore? Because let's be honest, I think at least over here in the US, I think there's a lot of people that buy KTMs because to them the KTM is this cool Austrian-built bike, and they get to feel better than everybody else who drives a Japanese bike around. I'm not trying to throw like shade. Like, let's just be honest. Like, that's definitely a crowd out there. Yeah, I mean, with a CF Moto built KTM, all the same equipment, but built over there, like, how'd you feel about that? And also, even if they can get funding at this point and turn things around, how many people right now that were considering buying a KTM are going to not buy a KTM now? Because buying a motorcycle from a company that might go out of business at any day is an uncomfortable feeling. I'm not sure how they turn all that around. I certainly, again, hope that they can. Now we got to get out on a big road. I say big, it's not that bad. I remember taking the ground down this road. This was a struggle right here. I'm still got a whole nother gear, and I'm like 8 throttle. Man, this thing does a lot better. I don't know if it's just having that 6-speed or if that extra CC, but this does all right. This does okay. Look, we're even speeding. We're speeding with barely being on the throttle. Not a bad little bike. Hopefully things will work out. I guess if they don't, that could be good. At least in concerns for the dirt bikes, for like Sherco and Beto, for people that are hungry for European brand bikes. Let's hope for the best for them. Let's hope it works out. And even if they're not your favorite band, just brand because of all the people it affects. Take care, everyone.